Welcome to our aTech channel. Today we're going to talk about the exciting topic of airplanes, or more specifically, about old planes. Did you know that disposing of these old aircrafts is a multi-billion-dollar business? Or that it has recently respawned a parallel market in the counterfeit airplane parts? If not, sit tight. We'll tell you all about it in this new video. But before we dive into the details, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of our topics. Let's get started. Like all aircraft, airplanes have limited lifespan. This is established by preserve the safety of the passengers. For most airliners, this is about 25 to 35 years, but what usually brings these down gigantic aircrafts goes far beyond normal wear and tear. In fact, the lifespan is determined by what scientists call pressurization cycles. What does that mean? Simply put, the system used to allow passengers and crew to breathe normally in high altitudes. Indeed, once an aircraft takes off, it must pressurize its cabin. Its pressurization, however, exerts a great deal of pressure on aircraft's frame, and this is what causes metal fatigue. Over time, this can lead to irreversible damage. This is what happened to the example in the Boeing 373 in 1988. During a flight, a crack in the board gate was observed by one of the passengers, but no one was notified of this detail and the flight proceeded normally. After about 20 minutes of the flight, the plane reached its cruising altitude. In approximately 7,300 meters, a small part of the left ceiling broke off. An explosive decompression ensued. It broke off all the large part of the roof and also took out the entire upper half of the fuselage. As a result, the aircraft was stripped of its hull from the cockpit door to the front of the wings. The accident was so serious that it caused the death of stewardess and left 65 people injured. According to the passenger testimony, the lead flight attendant was standing in line 5. She suffered the effects of decompressionization while picking up the cups. The stewardess was immediately sucked out of the airplane. She was the only victim that flight that day, despite the immense damage. Thanks to the pilot's skills, the plane was able to land safely. It should be noted that the short-haul aircraft age faster than long-haul jets. This is partly due to the number of flights these planes make. Short-haul carriers are indeed more solicited. This means that they need to be pressurized and unpressurized more frequently. This accelerates their decline. It's different for non-pressurized aircraft. They have a longer life, but it depends on the condition after a certain time. And it also depends on the airline. For example, DC-3, American company Douglas Aircraft, has flown for more than 60 years, and most flight aircraft can continue to fly after 40 years. But this only applies to small aircraft. For internal transport aircraft, regulations are stricter, but then, when might these aircraft be considered dangerous? In fact, a thorough evaluation of these aircraft is performed halfway through their design life. This allows airlines to determine whether or not their aircraft is still safe to fly. More often than not, the owners of these aircraft choose to replace them with new models after this review. This makes sense to ensure the safety of the passengers, but also because the newer craft can be more fuel efficient. The replaced airplanes are sold to the other companies. Most often, they go to the underdeveloped countries that have aviation regulations are more flexible. Some aircraft, such as the Boeing 747s, are refitted to cargo carriers. The smaller ones often being bought by oil companies and mining companies, etc. Some aircraft are reworked and displayed in museums. Others are bought by hotel companies and transformed into luxury places for travelers. An example is the airplane suite in Tangier Airport in the Netherlands. This 1960s airliner has been completely converted into the luxurious hotel. And that's not all. Some are purchased by individuals to be refurbished as homes. But these designations are only a few of these aircraft. Most of the time, they end up being destroyed or broken down into parts. In this regard, the authorities are in constant battle against the counterfeiters of aircraft parts. It is now believed that 2% of the spare parts in the market come from old craft at the end of their life. This shady practice is a great threat to the safety of passengers, especially since aircraft lines often prefer to replace defective parts of these aircrafts instead of attempting to risk repair. Many organizations are now trying to eradicate the terrifying traffic from the market. This is, for example, the case of the Persian startup called Safety Line. Harrier Journal X is convinced that the airline industry is not exploiting the full potential of digital technologies. That's what prompted their former airline pilot, the member of the Bureau, to set up the company Safety Line. Since 2010, the startup has been developing intelligent solutions to optimize aircraft use. Among other things, its strategy is to blockchain certification track aircraft spare parts, This will help verify whether the parts sold comply will impose safety standards. While waiting to be broken down, old planes are set aside on select locations. These are usually known as aircraft graveyards. There are vast open-air parking lots for these aircrafts. Most of them are in the middle of the desert where the climate is arid. This would protect them from the moisture and rust. And largest in the world is located in Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Arizona. There are 3,100 military aircraft, combat helicopters, and also many colossal transport planes for resting. But before being deposited there, these aircraft have undergone special treatment. First of all, they're cleaned and documented. Their fuel tanks are drained and rinsed with lubricant. Their tires are covered with thick films to prevent decontamination under heat. When the last precise components are stripped and sold to the highest bidder, all that remains of the aircrafts are sold for scrap, including the fuselage. There, another company takes over and transforms it into raw materials for manufacturing other aircrafts, or to manufacture other appliances such as refrigerators, solar panels, etc. In Europe, Tarmac Aerosave is a company specialized in aircraft storage. Founded in 2007 in Arzerix, Tarmac Aerosave has become the worldwide reference in deals with maintenance, storage, relocation, and dismantling of aircraft. The company is managed by Alexandre Bierno and based at Tarbos Larbos Parneos Airport. Since its creation, the company has recycled nearly 321 aircraft. There are still about 235 of them on site. Today it was built as a new hangar in Tarbes in the Huttes Pyrenees to store many engines. The historic site has now include 5 hangars, 2 high-capacity hangars for aircraft maintenance, 2 logistics hangars for the storage of aircraft spare parts, and of course, a new hangar for various activities related to commercial aircraft engines. Today, they have 170 recycled engines. That's it, folks. We're coming to the end of our video. You now know where the old planes go after their service. If you'd like today's topic, let us know in the comments and share the video with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Most importantly, don't forget to give us a little blue thumbs up to turn on notifications to keep up to date with our upcoming topics. And we'll see you soon on aTech.